Good evening. I'm Franklin, and this is the Cosmic Watch chat room. We'll be joined by those who want to get in on the conversation as we go through an hour this evening. And we have some very interesting information for you this evening about the summer solstice, what has just occurred this week on the 21st, as we moved into the sign of Cancer, and the summer solstice is very much like the winter solstice in that the winter solstice happens the week of Christmas on December 21st, and that's when everything just generally comes to a complete stop that week and the week after. And that's pretty much what we find as we get to the summer solstice. The tilt of the earth has reached as far as it can. And as Copernicus told us, the sun is the center of the universe. The sun shines all of the time. And when the sun is shining on the earth, it's the earth spinning around that creates day and the illusion that we have day and night. And it takes 24 hours for the earth to spin around, but it takes 25 hours for the moon to go around the sun. This is why the moon ends up in a different place all of the time, and keeps moving. And what is about to happen is a way of proving that karma really happens. That there is not only the karma that we carry from lifetime to lifetime, karma that where cause and effect can actually be into separate lifetimes. Well, if karma can work that spread out, it must also work as instant karma with cause and effect right next to each other. And the solstice gives us a chance when the earth reaches its tilt and wants to start going back the other way. First, there's a pause. There's a pause where we stop completely for a day or two, and then we repeat what we've just seen. And what's about to happen cosmically is whatever is happening to you this week, and this covers everybody on the planet. What happened to you this week is going to be repeated next week. Only you're going to see it from a different point of view. If you gave away last week, then you'll be receiving this week. And it truly is a chance for everyone to experience instant karma from just one week to another, to see not only that repeat of the second week, but also the fact that on Tuesday next week, 1 week after the summer solstice, the moon there'll be a new moon, the new moon of planting seeds for the future and future ideas that are planted then is very much what happens at the end of the year when we make our New Year's resolutions in that second week right after the winter solstice. So this is it's a very good time to see check the temperature of your karma to see how connected that you truly are. And that is what keeps all of us together, is we're connected to our spirit guides, the people who want to experience what we experience. And there are also guides who follow people that we think, well, what a boring life I have. Why would any guide want to be with me? It's because they've had such a lifetime that they are looking for peace and quiet, for sameness. This is why people who feel like they don't experience emotions very much still have spirit guides. And of course, there are the other guides who really are looking to experience what you are feeling. And this is why they push you on the cosmic paths that they are always trying to push you along. And one thing more on the new moon that's coming up next week in Cancer. Cancer is the fourth house, and the fourth house is all about taking every step in your plan and not getting stuck in any one step or skipping over the boring parts, skipping over what doesn't really interest you. Cancer people know that anytime they try to read the last page first, they're going to be sent back to the beginning. They're going to have to go back and start over. So for them, they find that it is a series of small steps all in the same direction that will lead them to happiness, lead them to success. And that's what we're seeing in that new moon that is going to drop on Tuesday night, is that it is the making a plan and sticking to your plan. That's very much like making your New Year's resolutions and trying to plan out your year where you're going to be better, you're going to succeed. And as soon as we are joined by anyone in our live audience here, we will take their questions and try to answer all of their questions that they have concerning, especially Cancer. We've dropped in to a new sign this week, and the people of Cancer are ruled by the moon, the closest thing to us, and that makes Cancer the the most sponge-like of all signs, where they really suck up all that's going on around them. When Cancers walk into the room, they are. We are joined now by Bruschetta de Puero. Good evening from Mexico, and I believe joining us for the first time in the cosmic chat room here, and we are talking about the Cancer people who are having their birthday this month, and what sort of relationships people can have with the people of Cancer, because Cancer is like the chameleon. They take on the not really the personality, but the feelings, the emotions of the people that they are around. And what they find is that when they are around, say, a room full of sick people, then they really have a hard time by not by trying not to soak up those emotions and actually feeling the symptoms of the sick people. They really can go that far. And it's because they're controlled by the moon, and the moon is right on top of us, and they're very good at it. Good evening to Julie joining us as we're talking about karma tonight, and what you can find out by looking at what happened this week and knowing you're about to repeat it next week. And Brochetta says, my screen name literally means dog skewer. When I lived in Chile, I ate skewers on the downtown for some months before finding out that they were made of dog meat. Now, it's very interesting what people eat. Think about originally why people would have eaten a lion, So they would become lion-hearted, or they would be ferocious, right? That would be the first thought. That uh, surely that's the only reason that anyone would ever try to eat a lion, right? So you are what you eat, and as surely as you are the information that goes into your mind. But dogs are can be an actual reservoir for a soul. When when I now have dogs debated the idea of, if a person were a cannibal and the only thing they had ever eaten was other people, how could they be resurrected and brought back together? An interesting thought, as the now I have dog essence in me, and it's what is inside the animal. Right? Julie says, "Is karma something that's just in our universe, our energy, mere coincidence?" Uh, I think karma is a very real thing. And what we're going to do next week is repeat whatever happens this week because of the summer solstice, and the tilt of the earth has gone as far as it can, and now it's trying to come back. And right now, this week and the last week of the year are the most do no business weeks that there are. Uh, Julie says, what's that, bro? How was it? She's asking, how was the how was the dog? Did it taste like chicken? I suppose is what she wants to know. What people around this earth eat anything, and there's so many misinterpretations between people. It actually was tasty. Well, I mean, people were eating it on the street. Of course, it was tasty, the way they fill it. But what I was going to say about dogs is that when the last ice age ended and there were no people on Earth, then I mean, this is why Adam and Eve were put in as adults. But when there were people who died before that ice age who wanted to reincarnate, and the only souls available were animal souls. There was a time when, at least at that time, that people did reincarnate into animals. Bruschetta says, I had three of them in my hands when I found out. And so they must have been tasty, because she says she went ahead and ate them. It's, that, that is the way to look at life, isn't it? Whatever you've been dealt, you play those cards. And it's while we all are the same around the world, we all grew up differently, right? We it's heredity on one side and environment on the other side. How the tree is bent, how the twig is bent, surely is how the tree grows. Super tender, and I don't think dog meat is default tasty. Maybe they were good cooks. Perhaps they had spices, no doubt. And what you're going to find this week, as we get away from the summer solstice, is you're not going to have an exact repeat of last week, this week, next week, um, but you're going to see the other side of it. You're going to see that if you lost something this week, next week you're going to find something. Something will fall into your lap. This is as close to instant karma as you can get, and it's a way to really check your karma to see if you're interpreting the signs right from your guide. Everybody has to interpret their own signs. Julie says, speaking of animals, do they also have energy? Are they affected by karma? I think that there are, in all animal forms, that it is possible for a human to be there. The Buddha could recall over 300 lives, and one of them was where he was the hare who throws himself on the fire to save humans. So, of course, it's possible. Yes, and I, I would think under the right circumstances. I believe one of the reasons that we have expanded so and become 7 billion people on this earth is to help each other, to be here for each other, to be able to communicate with each other, and also for there to be enough souls for all those who want to reincarnate to be able to come into a human life. Um, the, the population began to explode just about 500 years ago and began to double in shorter and shorter and shorter times till we got to the overpopulated point that we are now. And we're dealing with new problems. We're there's so there must be new reasons for all these people to be here. And do animals do animals think? Well, we know they do. When when you see those who are animal, say horse whisperers, who actually communicate with an animal, it's just an amazing thing. So to think that there are some who uh, have have been put in animal form for a reason, right? Everything happens to us for a reason, and it's up to us to interpret what those reasons are. For you cancer people, the things that come to you right now are very fortunate. They're wide open, they're up front, and they almost always come two at a time. Be ready for that second shoe to fall. And 6 months from now, cancer, the things that come to you will come disguised as new responsibilities, new things that you got to do for somebody else that lead you in the right direction and take you in the right way, but they come in disguise on the flip side of the year. David joins us. Taurus to the moon. Love, keep up the good work. Thank you, David. Thanks for joining us. What what I would really like people to do is to come back next week and tell us the experiences that they're having. I really think you're going to be able to see that whatever comes into your life this week will be repeated next week, but you're going to see it from a different point of view. You're going to understand it differently. I mean, this is the whole reason for reincarnation, right? So this is like a mini version, instant karma. And instead of that karma that's so spread out that sometimes the cause is in one lifetime and the effect doesn't happen until another lifetime. Instant karma is a real thing where, uh, well, it's that person that speeds past you that suddenly the cop pulls over, right? It's almost karmic retribution that that people wish upon each other. And this is why so many people are mad at God, because their curses don't work. They, they try to damn somebody, and God says no, no. And this is why people get the wrong idea about the spirit world. And what the spirit world is always trying to tell us is not necessarily the truth, but it's what we need to hear at that particular time. Julie says, which would you say is more powerful, good or bad karma? Julie, good and bad cannot exist without each other. They describe each other like long and short. They're 2 points on the same line. Nobody's all good and nobody's all bad. Every human being has within them the ability to be as good as the best they've ever been, and God help them, as bad as the worst that they've ever been. And if you don't accept that that's within everyone, well, that's what causes problems, is not accepting. When, as a psychic, the hardest thing in the world is to read yourself, because you don't accept the answer. You want it so hard to be the other way that you deny it. No, that can't be. Whereas if you were doing the reading for someone else, you would say, well, here's what it is, and here's what you better be reacting to. It's very hard for a psychic to read themselves, and this is why that belief is such a big factor. The only way to do psychic work is to believe in yourself, to believe the answers that you get, and the only way for a psychic usually to get a good reading on themselves is through another psychic. And this this belief is really what is the difference between good and bad, because it's how you see it, how you perceive it. You might think a person is bad that I think is good because I know something else about them, or you know something else about them, and we never see things the same way. So good and bad are just relative terms. It's impossible to be completely good, because we make mistakes that are caused by anger, that are caused by us having to do too much at one time. We're pushed, we're surprised sometimes, and anger is usually the first response for at least the first second, right? And this is what the gurus get past. This is the teachers of karma. First of all, teach that you have to have a teacher. You must have a guru. David says, I totally agree with that good bad description. Recently, I had an unexpected spiritual event. I awakened the Kunani on my first ever retreat. Definitely saw evil and good in the process, and saw the separation. Now, this is why people meditate. This is why we go to a different plane. It's because you don't see this in the material world. You see this through your eyes. Your spirit guides are inside you. They can throw a lens up over your eyes. They can make you see anything. David, you unexpectedly have a spiritual event. It occurred inside of you. You are the one who created the event. You are the one who asked to see a difference between good and evil. Don't think that you were shown the ultimate answer. You were shown what meant something to you, what you could relate to. There are people who see the devil with horns and a tail, chasing them in their dreams. And it's because parents always warn their children about whatever they think is the big bad wolf. You become very prejudiced, and you that creates fear. And fear is what really gets things. That's exactly right, says David, and I'm super grateful. Yes, this is your guides leading you and showing you And that is only for you, because everything is molded around your needs. You have guides who are working with you. They they're they're not part time. They're committed to leading your path and taking you to your enlightenment. That's what the whole spirit world is waiting for. Nobody goes to God until we all go together. That's why the spirit world is so concerned about us becoming enlightened. I mean, why else would they spend eternity inside of us trying to take us on a particular path? And don't think that the path isn't different for all these 7 billion people. Very possible. Everybody sees God differently. Everybody sees the spirit world differently. When an angel comes to you, they don't come looking like the people that you hate across the world. They come looking like you. Why wouldn't they? An angel can take any form. An angel's not male, not female, just like God. There's something else altogether, something we don't, something we could not understand. God, this is why God does not come in person solely to one human being. Nobody could accept that into their mind. He comes in forms that we can understand. Um, I've heard that he comes as an older man, Santa Claus type. Um, it's different for every soul on earth. Imagine that. Imagine a God so omnipotent that God is what holds everything together. The spirit world's within you, and that includes the angels being able to go right into you and override anything else that's going on with your spirit guides. An angel can make you see that angel. You're the only one in your epiphany who will see the angel that comes to you. And that angel will look very much like you. They will sound very much like you. That inner voice inside your head that you think is your voice, that is your guides speaking to you in your voice, in your cadence, and you've become so used to it that you this is how you think to yourself, right? Okay, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? It's your guides helping you weigh these things, helping you find the right path, helping you find your way to become an enlightened soul. It's it, it, it's taken all of this time, and it's just a drop in the bucket for the world. There's been humans for about 200,000 years now, and when everything got wiped out just 25,000 years ago by the last ice age, this is when and Adam and Eve had to be full grown, inserted into the world, and things have grown from that point, and we are getting more and more connected. There's uh, there's a wonderful thing about the children who've been born since the year 2000, and it's all those zeros in their birth. They 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 have a different connection. They have a more open connection to the spirit world, and they are not as inhibited as we were. Uh, I'm from the '60s. I was a hippie in the '60s. I was an underground radio disc jockey on FM radio, and one of the things I did was the astrology guide. Most popular thing that I ever did on the radio was uh, doing astrology a long time ago, and being able to watch over the years the different people is how you figure things out. by watching others, learning from their mistakes, and letting them learn from your mistakes. That's the most generous thing that a human can do, is to allow others to learn from their mistakes. I mean, that's what we're here for. That must be the point. If there is a life purpose, it has to be whatever is hardest for you, whatever you think is impossible has to be your reason for being here, because change is the only thing that God seems to be concerned about. Doesn't matter how high you rise socially, it's how much change there was in your life, how you were able to use the the signs, the omens that come to us every day, and we walk right past, and then they come to us a little bit harder. This is how the spirit world works. At first, it's very easy. Very. First time I had a heart attack, I got to just sit down, take some aspirin, and I thought I was fine. David says, "Awesome to see you're still having this passion for astrology and the purpose to help others." That that's something that I was given, and that's the voice that people listen to. It's a wonderful thing to have something to say. I I had this voice as a child, and I the problems I had of people listening to whatever I said, and I was a child. I knew nothing, and it made me stop talking. It literally. I went through about 10 years where would not speak in public, and it was a class that I took in college that changed everything in my life. It was the first time I'd ever been up in front of people, and the first speech that I gave to that group there, I received a standing ovation, and it changed my life. It really did. It opened up so many things, and the only reason I was there was because I had through the series of crazy circumstances, I had found out that they were building a campus radio station, and at the college that I was at, and man, that changed everything. 2 years after that, I was on a radio man and having a great time and living it up. But astrology is a continuing thing. To do astrology, all you have to do is see where the stars are and write down what happened that day. Do that for 10,000 years, and you've got a pretty good grip on the different astrological signs. And the thing to remember about signs is that what came first were the numbers of the houses. Numbers came before words, and numbers are the international language. Everyone understands one, two, and that's the beginning. And once you understand that, you can understand anything in numbers. And the computer language is all either a zero or a one. It's all numbers, and that's why it can be so easily translated into any language on the earth. Language is code. It's a way of hiding secrets from other people. That's why we have the different languages for everyone around the world. So your what you say meant so much more before people started writing things down. Think about when people had to remember everything. David says, actually bought yesterday a numerology book and got pulled in. Oh man, numerology. I'm a two. I'm a 202. Two is about choosing to help other people. And that is not an easy decision to make. You see the other side of it. You become very selfish, and the the zero in anything, zero is more important than the 12 numbers, because zero means connection to the spirit world. That the circle, as above, so below, and in incorporating that into your life, right in the middle of your life, and it's change that that you're really looking for. If your life stayed the same, it would be so dull. It, there would literally there would be no purpose in it if your life stayed exactly the same. If you didn't change and grow, and that's why people have changed so much over the years. People used to die before they were 50 years old. The oldest people were like maybe 50 years old. Most people died in their 20s. And to think the way it is now, man, my God, they won't allow you to die. They're going to hook you up to machines. I think most of the people on Earth right now are going to live to be 100 years old because of all the changes in medicine and care. And so it's feeding all those people is going to be the problem. That's that's the coming only. That's the only real problem on this earth is going to be feeding people. And I think that there's there's plenty of food. It really is that we've tried to keep this herd of cows. Humanity's just the cattle that we keep inside this pen. And there was enough for everybody until we started fighting over the grass that was there and stomping it, right? And then there's not enough grass. So it's time to let the herd out. It's time to get out of the pen, and that's thinking outside the box, and that's the cow using his horn to open the gate, right? And finally they can all leave. It's it's a world that we make of it what we decide that we want, what we what we decide is worth giving, whatever it is we have to give for that part of your life. So what it always comes down to is other people. If you don't have anyone to do for, that you become a very self-centered person, and that that doesn't lead you anywhere. It really doesn't. There are no self-made people in this world. You had help, and you have to be able to admit that you did have help, and that you want the help of other people. And that's, boy, isn't that the trick? That can you accept the help that other people want to give to you? That's something that's very difficult for a lot of people. There are people who really find it almost impossible to accept a compliment from other people. They will deflect it and send it off in a different direction because they can't accept it. They don't accept that about themselves, and so it's self image that really can change everything in our world. That's all that really counts is how you think about yourself. Only you know. Think about how many things about you that only you know, for good or bad. The things that the things that were beyond your control, that literally made you do the things that you've done made you the person that you are. They There are things that people have a very hard time forgiving themselves of. Um, the the thing about forgiving other people is that this is how your guides show you who you're supposed to be with in this lifetime. Because there are so many people on this earth, they look like the person you think they are, but they're not. They come often it's a relative of the person that you're supposed to be with, right? And doesn't that turn out to be a mess? So it's because people, especially in this country, try to look so much alike. They try to look like those images that they see, and that means everybody looks familiar, and you you have a hard time finding those that you are really supposed to be with, that you're supposed to be able to get over their idiosyncrasies, and that's how you know if you can forgive another human being, then that means they're supposed to be in your life. And if you can't forgive, and sometimes even when you can't forgive, you're still stuck. You can't do anything about it. But that's how your guides are showing you that that person is not supposed to be in your life. That person has falsely somehow pushed their way into your circle, and you need to get away from them. It's really what's within your mind, and can you forgive? Can and there's a real difference between forgiving and forgetting. You can get over things, but you still don't really trust that person. You can't forget the past, and that means that that person is not supposed to be in your life. And it's so hard to find people who are supposed to be in your life, because there are so many people, and all of their karmas are like dangling on strings, and they're all bumping into each other and getting in each other's way. And karma comes to us on sunlight. That's the way it works. Karma is coming to us on sunbeams, and we get in each other's way. We shade each other. We that karma bounces off of other souls and gets changed. It comes to us in strange ways we cannot understand, and that's the difference. Do you understand what it is that your guides are trying to show you? What they're really trying um, to show that you can do, that you can be, and that's the number system that shows you the possibilities. If you're a one, you're a doer, and that's the first house. You know, that's Aries. If you're a two, if you're a Taurus, you know you care about what other people think, and you care about having relations with other people and settling down and having that family. David says, I agree, forgiving is detrimental. However, forgetting is a bad move for sure. It's like when we try and we miss. Yeah, we learn from the mistakes and get better at it. And that's exactly what we do. We get better at life as we go along. And you're definitely going to meet the same people later on in life. Um, this is most people don't really come in to their cosmic life until their mid 30s, and the real change on that is the people that have been born in since the year 2000. It's a real change. People People forever have taken about half of a lifetime to be able to understand what is going on. Um, the the thing that I wanted to look at tonight was what is going to happen at this summer solstice. Um, um, what is happening is, mm, did you see that card came upside down? That that tells us, and this is the luckiest card that you can draw. It is good fortune, and even when it comes upside down, it just means that the good fortune will be delayed by a week. So it really is true that what's going to happen this week has been mostly good things. This is like Christmas week. Next week, we're going to see a reversal of what happened this week. And you're going to see it from a different point of view. If uh, if you received this week, then next week you will be giving. You will be passing along, continuing the line of good things that don't have to stop with you. So you'll see it from the different point of view. If you are if you are doing this week, you'll get to rest next week. And if you're resting this week, that means all things will break loose next week, and you're going to have a chance to show other people how to do it. And that's why I want you to come back next week with your story, and to tell us what the change was from week to week. What did you feel the karma? Did you feel that you were being shown something, and that you got the message that they that your guides can stop pushing on that point, and allow you to make your choices. Yeah, it's always up to you. When it comes right down to it, your guides are only your guides. They can give you the choices, but free will is exactly what humans have, and you have to use it. You you can't say I don't care. I don't that 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 will never satisfy your guides. You you won't say that long. You don't say I'm bored long right before suddenly the yellow submarine pulls into your life and changes everything. And this is what the cosmic world does. It comes to you in such a way that it's one on one. It because the spirit world never comes to a crowd of people ever. There's when there, it's just not the way the spirit world works. It's one on one. It is between you and what you consider to be God, your higher self, what you answer to, and life is a quest to be able to understand these things that come to you, and to be able to put them to use. See, many people get messages that they just I can't do that. That that wouldn't be me. I couldn't possibly do that. And they're denying that they have a spiritual side, and it's that awakening that really puts everything to into motion. I think that the world began when the mind of God moved from the dream state to the awakened state, and God set into motion all that God had dreamed, and that's the whole history from start to finish of the world. It's all laid out. It's all predetermined. There is karma. There is free will. There is, and this is why it takes millions of years, right? Because we have free will, and to have to really have what humans have to do, you have to be able to take every road, every path. You have to experience both sides of everything, and that cannot be done in a single lifetime. And there are people who try to get it all done in one lifetime, and you just can't. That you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You're asking to get all of the answers now, and that can't happen. Your mind couldn't stand that. So you have to listen to your spirit guides and ask for their advice. And the way that you can say thank you to your guides is to use their advice. It is to put this advice to good use, and um, to do it. That's how you say thank you to your guides, and the more you use your guides, the more useful they will be. The more they will know that they can come to you and use you as a doorway to help all people get what they get what they need to be happy. And that's the point of the whole world. It is to be happy. It's not to amass the biggest pile of gold. Certainly, that's not the reason that we're here. And it's it, it's it's going to change. The world is going to change. The world is getting better, and we are all a part of that change, all a part of the world. It was great to have all of you on the chat this evening. If there's any questions that I can answer for any of you, be glad to. We've got just about another 6 minutes to go, and we can have a look at what is likely to happen to you coming up in this particular week, the week of the summer solstice, when the tilt of the Earth has gone as far as it can possibly go. And a couple of days ago, we started finally coming back the other direction. So we're going to repeat next week whatever is happening this week, but we're going to see it in reverse. It'll The world will be tilting back the other direction, and we're going to experience whatever it is from the other side of whatever the question is. So get ready for a repeat. And David says, "Thank you for the great one. Need week. Let's see what happens. Stay safe. You too, David. Thank you so much for being a part of the chat tonight. The Cosmic Watch will return, and in a week from now, and we do have a chance to take a look at what is going to happen as we make this turn. What what's going on with the country is that things are turning. Things are turning. The the Hanged Man is all about change, and all about changing your viewpoint. If we can change the way that we look at the world, then we can actually affect change to the world. And this is you changing the way that you perceive other people. And getting past the anger that usually precedes new things that come into your life. People first get angry, and then they deny that this is really happening to them, and then of course they begin to bargain, and they tell God that, boy, if you'll get me out of this tight spot, I'm going to be good for the rest of my life. And when God says, no, that doesn't sound like a very good idea to me, then we get depressed. And depression is what brings us back down to earth and makes us see the reality and gets us to acceptance. And acceptance is dealing with life as it happens, and knowing that you will be taken care of tomorrow because you are a blessed soul. You are a child of God, and you're going to be taken care of because you believe that you will. And this is the the wonderful thing about the spirit world is, everyone is invited. Everybody gets to play. No one's left out. When 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 your mind is downloaded after you pass from this earth, and they're showing you the results of every word that you said and every deed here on earth. You see, you are the judge. You get to decide if you need another lifetime, if you're going to be reincarnated, if you're going or going to work as a spirit guide, or and there also seems to be a third group that are attached to particular places. So that's it's a hard thing to understand exactly what's going on. But the real thing is that we all are going to have to be enlightened at some point, and nobody goes to God until we all go together. So we have to work together, and this is the whole reason we have natural disasters around the world, to make us see how small we are and how much we need each other, how much we fit together. So I will wrap this up. I'm Franklin, and I will see you on the Cosmic Watch next Friday, same channel and same time. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you then.